We're sharing a pen. I don't think
No,
I do
wait,
that.
you get your pen.
I'm done.
I have to take I never take notes on these. And then I see in my cue card, it's okay if you take notes. And then she steals my pen.
Partnered with what? Stop complaining.
Place.
I'm like, just get over it. I'm not doing acrobats to get back out of this little spot that I'm in.
Okay. You guys ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Do it. Welcome to episode 9 of Now. We are thrilled to welcome Ross Seligman. He is the owner of Own It Northwest team in Portland, Oregon area, brokered through Windermere. He's partnered with Place and also co-founder of something really cool we're going to talk about today, a company called Sphere, and it's a platform for realtors. So we're going to dive into that. Welcome.
Thank you. That list just exhausted me. I got tired of hearing it.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on, Ross.
Yeah.
And before we get started and all the good stuff that you guys are mentioning there, I do have to say one little fun fact about Ross. He was on House Hunters. Come on, that's pretty
Episode
fun.
number?
I actually I don't know the episode number.
It was like
I know that's
24.
ridiculous. You know
It was
what? You know
like
what?
2400 something.
I can't, here's the thing. I do these things like I can't watch myself or listen to myself. Like I will not listen to this podcast. I cannot watch myself. I find it so uncomfortable. I love doing them, but I can't watch them afterwards. So for social media, for all, reels and everything, I do them. I cannot watch them. I send them to my team and I go, unless you think this is bad, I'm posting it. So just someone call it out now. Just a thing.
That was a great episode. I enjoyed it.
Oh,
It was really
was
fun.
really fun to do, and also really fun to see how the sausage is made of those shows.
Okay. All fake.
Great fun fact.
Yeah, they are. I think I signed an NDA, so I'm not going to say anything more about it.
Okay. We will leave it at that.
100% real, everyone. Those reality shows are absolutely real.
That's fake news. All right, let's dive in
Okay.
because we got some great things we want to talk about. Briefly give us a background on you and your business so that our listeners know, more about who we're talking with, and then we're going to dive into Sphere.
Okay, I'm in my 19th year of real estate.
Wow.
I've already seen, of course, in that time period, giant, massive earthquakes in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
This new one is just a little new, interesting pivot, right? And new way of doing things. And in some ways, not actually very new. Although the media makes it sound like it's this giant thing. It is not really, in my opinion. But
Agreed.
yeah, so I've been doing this for 19 years, and the majority of it is a solo agent or solo with one assistant or just a TC. And about 6 years ago, I decided to really lean into the team model and really change the way I was doing things. And 8 years ago, I started Sphere, and both of these things had something in common, which is how do I do multiple things at once? Number one, provide a really high level of service to my people, right? To clients, to home buyers and sellers. And I think some people associate with the team model bad service because a lot of teams aren't providing great service. And that is totally not part of the team model. Like that is just how those people are doing business, right? You can provide an incredibly high level of service with a team. And so for me, it became, how do I do that and really affect a lot more people? How do I also have a life outside of real estate? Because I think I can easily fall towards never stop working, and really started to understand that with leverage and with systems, not only can I really lean into my highest and best use, but everyone on the team can just do their highest and best use. And then everyone is happier. Everyone's doing better. The clients are served better. And it's so Sphere operates in that way as well. But the whole idea is like, how do we do that and have the bandwidth to also have a life outside of real estate? And not have to consume everything, because as everyone listening here knows, it can just totally consume every aspect of your life if you don't engineer it.
Right. Well, and I think we can all agree there's a lot of teams out there that are dysfunctional. It's hard to run a really good team and have the structure that you need. And it sounds like you've done that. And I understand you're a dad with little ones, so your time is valuable, huh?
Well, yeah, and that yes. First of all, to your first point, it is super challenging to run a team, and I think one of the reasons it's challenging is there's so many personalities involved now that all have to be cohesive, including your own, right? And I think that a lot of people that get into real estate are very individualistic in a way, right? We're entrepreneurs, and we're we don't want to be employees, right? And we get into real estate, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, wait, now it's about the collective. And so I think all of these things are challenging. It's helped me grow as a business person, but also as a person in general. That whole process. And then, and as far as kids, there was a point where I was really wanting to do a very strong business that was at scale, while keeping a very, very high service level. And I really had this feeling of, I can either be a good dad or a good business person, but unless I figure out systems and leverage and build a team, or for those of you who don't want to build a team, are part of a team so that you have serious support, I felt like I couldn't do both. And I was absolutely determined to do both. One will not suffer. So I wouldn't say I'm there. I mean, I feel like I'm a very present dad, but I don't know that I'll ever feel like I'm there, like I've made it. Like it's a constant work in progress. It will never be done. It's a constant labor of love. And I love podcasts like what you're doing. I love to learn everything I possibly can and hear about what other people are doing, because that I will hear something and it will just blow my mind. And then I'll go to the team and try not to drive them crazy with, hey, let's do this now. But
yeah, Mr. Visionary.
How many people are on your team?
So we have 6 agents. Actually, I have to count because I'm not sure if that includes me or not. So there's 6 or 7.
Half a dozen.
We have another couple that are joining. And then we have 2 operations. We have one who is he is like the operations of the team. He is really the seller concierge also, like another person that every seller feels like is super engaged in what's going on from an administrative and marketing aspect. And then we have another operations person who does the TC for everything. So she is just like the TC for buyers, sellers, everything. So
nice.
So there's either 8 of us or 9 of us.
Nice. And then you mentioned that you guys partnered with Place. How does that work? I'm very curious.
That is Place. I have to tell you, especially in this moment with what's happening with the NAR settlement, Place is one of the best moves I ever made. And it's very interesting. It's hard to explain in a short period of time, but essentially they are my business partners now. Like, we are business partners. Place is not a platform that you pay for and they do a bunch of things for you. It's you go through with them this exploratory process to see if they want to partner with you and if you want to partner with them. And it has really enabled me to grow and to have the most incredible training for my team and myself. Unbelievable systems. I have an actual HR department. I have an actual CFO, all of this stuff. They are partnered with Goldman Sachs. So a lot of the services I'm getting are from Goldman Sachs, which is incredible. Especially in this moment with the NAR settlement, they are getting guidance from Goldman Sachs. Like the information and the guidance I'm getting from Place is at a much higher level than anything else I'm seeing, and it's been a really good thing. There's a lot that goes into this, so if anybody has questions about it and wants to ask me, they're super welcome to reach out to me directly, and I'm happy to share because it's been a good thing.
Okay, so we've got 19 years in the business, solo agent, then went to building a team. You've got a half a dozen individuals plus some admin on your team. Dad, want to create a platform to better utilize your tools and your time in order to be successful and provide top-notch service to your clients. Sphere's born 6 years ago.
It might be 7 or 8 now.
Okay.
And this is pretty wild. Like this, I did not set out to create a tech platform I was busy. I was a busy agent. I still am. Like this is my primary business is I'm a realtor, right?
Yes.
Or I'm a team leader. But what happened was I had met somebody through 2 unrelated real estate transactions. It was sort of it felt serendipitous, who is now my partner in this because he ran a startup incubator. And I just found him really interesting. And I was like, I want to be friends with this guy. And he has now this is Sphere, but at the time had a team of 12 developers working for him on all kinds of different projects. And so I'd reached out to him to say, hey, every platform for what I need is created by Silicon Valley. None of these people actually do this business or really know what we need. And I don't like any of them. And I've pieced together a business out of like 7 different little subscriptions to things that I'm paying a fortune for. And I'm only using 10% of each of those things. And it's ridiculous. You know, what would it cost for me to have your team? Like if I told them exactly what I wanted, how much would it cost for your team to just build this thing for me? Okay. So we start going down that path. I start building it. And then other agents at the brokerage I was at, which was different than the one I'm at now, would look at my laptop and go like, what is that? You know? And then it just became this thing where it was like, oh, other people want this too. Let's start building something here. And that was 7 or 8 years ago. And you know, as you mentioned, we do business in the Portland metro area. We do 0 advertising. Every dollar goes back into development, right? So my point of saying that is that I assumed when we started, because we really weren't going to do any advertising, at least, I mean, now we might start trying to figure out some marketing now, but I feel like it's really conversations and word of mouth and referrals to other agents, which is how we do our business is the most effective. I don't really want to like blast people with ads. But okay, my point of saying this is that we're in the Portland metro area. So I assumed, okay, like most people who are going to pick this up are going to be like in the Portland metro area. Actually, I'm making this number up, but it feels like it's like 5%.
Wow.
The rest are agents all over the country, Canadians. We have somebody in Jamaica. Like I don't know how they even find it. I think it's from, you know, like Real Estate Mastermind or like, you know, these things on Facebook, these private real estate groups, people talking about it. But the thing I hear about it the most is people say you can tell very fast that this is created by someone who's actually working every day in the business.
So tell us about it. Let's hear it. I'm like super
okay. I need to
excited
find a new
know.
name for it. Not Sphere. Sphere is the name. And it's usesphere.com. But on the surface, it looks like a CRM, but it is so much more than a CRM. It is it's almost like a turnkey. This is how the top relationship-based agents actually run their business. So it's almost like this thing where it's like, okay, for people who are brand new, if they were to just plug in and do what it says, they're going to be in business. You know how like in real estate, the big problem to me has always been, well, especially when I started, was you get your license and they're like, go do it.
Yeah.
And they'll have like training at the brokerage, and usually it's not very good.
Right.
That has improved over the past 20 years, but especially with specific brokerages who are doing it better than others. But in general, it really became clear that you could distill it down to like, here's the basics of what these people do. And the difference is with systems created by Silicon Valley, it's always whatever the new shiny object is in tech.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And really it's like, well, we could get distracted by all that, or we could do what actually is the actual foundation of a sustainable, scalable real estate business with actual ROI.
Right.
And so Sphere runs you through that. Now, what I've seen is experienced agents abandoning whatever CRM they have to use this system because they're able to um, leverage that, everything I just described, but at a higher level because of their experience. But then also, it has things that Silicon Valley would be totally uninterested in because they wouldn't understand it, but every agent does.
Yeah.
Little ways that it takes minutes to hours off of your daily administrative tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so when I said it's about having a life outside of real estate, you can take that time and either prospect more
Mm-hmm.
and build your business more, or go play with your kids.
Kind of
So
manages your workflow, it sounds like. And it
it
looks
manages
like
your
a
workflow,
really,
but it's like
yeah.
I've like the newest update was I tried to figure out how do we okay, this is sort of a tangent, but with the NAR ruling,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have a giant opportunity to be perceived as with much more professionalism with buyer agents than we have been. We've been, because of things like house hunters,
Yes. Yes.
we are perceived as a commodity and that our job is to just open a door, and why the hell are we getting paid so much, right?
Uh-huh.
When we all know that it's not the job. Um, because of this, not only am I leaning really hard into my Sphere, which is what Sphere is designed to help you do, it automates personal contact in a way that the client is not going to know or feel like it's impersonal, because
Mm-hmm.
we're all like, all the systems we have are just doing all these like automated this, automated that, and it's very clear it's automated and it's ridiculous. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is doing it, the only things that we integrate with are things that are extremely personal or local to your community.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and because I think we have an opportunity to up our professionalism, I think that there's even a possible, like, if we're going to be optimistic about this NAR ruling, which I am very optimistic, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that if we are perceived as more professional, and now if you have to sign a buyer broker agreement before you even show a house, there is a reality that's possible where like if you need an attorney, you're going to really, really search for the best attorney, or even more appropriate to our conversation, people seriously interview listing agents
Right.
because you're going to sign a contract with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now if we're in that position, we know two things. One, referrals are extremely important. But secondly, even when you get a referral, a lot of those people aren't just going to take their friend's word for it anymore. They're going to go Google you.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I was like, okay, we need to I want to get us to 200 five-star Google reviews. Okay. That's my first goal, 500. We're at 119.
Wow.
My first goal is 200. So we created a feature in Sphere that helps you get reviews, not just on Google, but whatever you want, but also helps to divert bad reviews away from, but like help the client get it out of their system.
That's great.
And but only go to you.
Yeah.
And then
We've had a crazy that did it once, like I don't know if it was a bot or what,
that's what
but
I'm talking about.
uh-huh.
That's what I'm talking about. And like, we all have the people who it went really well, and we're like, I know I did an amazing job, but like their behavior in the transaction was a little weird, and I'm a little afraid to send them to Google because I just don't know what they're gonna do. Like,
Uh-huh.
even though this went really well, like, so anyway, it's a whole thing that if anybody's interested, like, I could show them how this little thing works. But this is just one of like 20 things that we've implemented now, right? Where the system is gonna, totally in your control, is going to try to get reviews out of anyone you want, or now that we have it set up this way, I'm just letting it go to everybody, because it's gonna really direct them toward Google or Yelp or whatever you want, if they've made it clear that this is a 5-star situation,
Uh-huh.
and divert them, if not, to making sure that exactly what they were unhappy about, but then it helps them get it out of their system so they don't go online. But it also gives you the opportunity, because you want to know this stuff,
Right.
to go and shower them with love and gifts or whatever you need to do to make it right.
Right.
But these are the kind of things that the system does or is concerned with, whereas Silicon Valley is not concerned with that kind of thing. Although now with the NAR ruling, I want anyone, I mean, I wanted this anyway, but now I think it's even more crucial that we are presenting ourselves and our team as the most skillful, right? We have the most skill, and people believe what they read on the internet. So although referrals are just paramount to success, the people, if you don't know those people that they're referring you to, they're still looking you up online, and they're still going to look up other people online. So I want the validation for them. So
now with Sphere, so is it geared mostly towards individual agents, towards team leads? Is there different structures depending on your setup?
it actually it has a very unique way of operating, so that it was created originally for solo agents when I was a solo agent.
Shocker.
And then as I started growing a team, I'm like, oh, we need like team functionality, right? We ended up building it like a modular social network. And so it's not really easy to explain in this podcast format, but like essentially we made it flexible because no two teams work the same way. And this is another thing Silicon Valley doesn't get. Like if you need a team to be cohesive, what happens usually is you get a system, and then you have all these sub agents in the system, and then like you really got to make it work in however the system works. Ours is like a social network that you can connect different accounts, and you can do it in any kind of team format for how your team operates, and everyone can share data or not. It's totally up to you how the data works. And your agents they're able to make their own business plans through it and see the money that they're going to make on every transaction instead of the full amount. And there's a lot of reasons to do that, but one of them is, as the team leader, I can look and be like, okay, I see what the goals that everyone has set for themselves, and now I can mentor them and help them achieve it. And they can track it all and see like exactly what their cut of the commission is and like how that's all going to work. So it's very effective for, it's totally optimized for teams. The other thing is I was paying for platforms, like when I said that I had a ton of subscriptions to things and I was using 10% of it. For project management, we were using Asana. I don't know if that's how you say
I haven't used that one.
Asana. And I was like, oh my God, like I want to stop paying for all these little things. So we basically put the 10% that I was using in it, and it now has total project management for teams, but only the most basic like way everyone's using that stuff, and not all the deep stuff, right? Built in. So our teams are doing project management through it. They are able to communicate. The other reason we created it like a social network, and when I say that, it's because what'll happen is, like, let's say I'm a solo agent and there's another solo agent in my office, and we both have Sphere accounts, and I can send a friend request to that agent, and if they accept it, we're linked now. And the whole point is this: we're not on a team, but let's say we watch each other's business when one of us goes on vacation. I can just go in the back end and turn on where they can see my transactions or my people or my sale match, or like whatever I want, and I can decide whether they can just look at it or edit it as well, so that when I'm out of town, they can actually work my business in their account, and when I come back, I could just flick the switch and
That's
they can't see it anymore.
As we're both getting ready to
That's
travel, that's really cool.
Yeah.
like
So
that.
that's how we created it, because the thing that Silicon Valley doesn't get, I know I'm like so like just down on Silicon Valley. I don't mean to be. It's just that I think that, this Sphere exists. I mean, it was created because there was a need that was missing for me personally. And I felt like no tech product like understood all the different wild ways that we build our businesses. And solo agents should be able to be as flexible and cooperative with each other as they want to be.
And that could
as
be like
well.
broker agnostic. So if I'm in like California and
Yeah,
I
who
want
cares?
Ross to watch my business in Oregon, I could be like, hey, Ross, let's buddy up. And
Yeah,
it
like
doesn't
who cares
matter.
about the brokerage anymore?
Right. No, that's cool.
I mean, have a brokerage, don't have a brokerage, you can do whatever you want. So yeah, you need 2 different brokerages. I don't care. Yeah. Well, so and that brings another point up is that I really firmly believe it is very important for all of us as individual business owners to not use the tech that your brokerage is giving you. And it's not because I'm afraid of them taking your contacts or any of that stuff. It's that it's also kind of a golden handcuffs. It's a way for them to trap you in the brokerage. Because when you leave, you lose everything. So Sphere, a lot of agents are using Sphere because it's theirs. And it doesn't matter where they go. And it doesn't matter if they ever decide to go on their own or if they ever decide to switch brokerages. It's a seamless change once they do that. So that's my own personal thing is I believe I want to own all of my data. I want to own all of my tech. And a lot of people who are using Sphere feel that way too. When the way that it tracks my entire business history and the metrics and the numbers is also something that I think is going to help me make an exit one day. And if it's brokerage agnostic, I could sell my business or transfer it through Sphere to anyone I want. They don't have to be in the same brokerage because or else we're going to lose the entire thing. So that's a thing. I want ownership over my data and over my tech.
I hear you saying it's a CRM, but very personalized and high level. I hear you saying it handles project management. It's broker agnostic. I can share my data with any agent in the world, essentially, to help with my business.
Like you and I right now could link our accounts if we wanted, and we could share any data we want.
Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah. Because I know we all, no matter what brokerage we've been under, it's like this CRM, SkySlope, Workplace. There's like 6 different things. Trello, project management. Do you offer some type of appointments for people to get on and give like a demo of some kind if agents are interested in doing that?
Yes. So we have a ton of videos, of course, on the page, but I do a webinar. I try to do it once a week, a live webinar, and it's sort of like a mastermind. So that's how we're doing it right now. As we grow, I mean, every dollar is being put back into it. So as we grow even bigger, our next move is going to be to expand that whole mastermind thing, and where it's not just me. As we grow, I want to hire someone to be part of that because we have so many agents using it now. It can't just be. I just can't handle it all myself at a certain point. Right now, it's totally good, but the trajectory it's on. There's going to be just more and more. But at the moment, we're doing webinars. We even created a PDF manual too. Like if anyone wants to print it out and have it and be able to look through it. And we're trying to find every way that we can do that at the moment. There's also a very robust support. We're answering questions, me and my partner, but we also have a team of people doing that already. So
that's great.
So yeah.
And go ahead.
Well,
Michelle.
is that mastermind? How long is that? And that's a live mastermind. It's not pre-recorded.
Yeah, it's live. We're doing it. It's generally an hour every time we do it. I think it's usesphere.com/webinar to sign up for I think it's always that link so that you can sign up for the next one. We're not going to do one. Well, I don't know when this is going to air, but we're not going to do one during spring break, but we will the week after.
Okay. And I hear you're going to be offering a coupon to our listeners.
Yes, it is. So no matter what, when you sign up, the way it works is you just go to usesphere.com and you don't have to put a credit card in or anything. It automatically works for you for 30 days. And then after 30 days, it says, okay, now you got to, and put in a credit card.
What a concept. You don't have to put the card in and remember to cancel.
No, we're not trying. So This is the whole, so everything that has pissed me off about the way
subscriptions
tech has been sold to us and trap us. And then it's, we are eliminating with Sphere. I mean, I'm basically making a tech product that's not going to piss me off. Right.
That's great.
Okay. So for everyone, it's always that 30-day free trial, right? Now, with the coupon code, making moves, all lowercase, all one word together, it will give you an extra month on top of that. So basically, you go to
60
usefear.com.
days.
Yeah, you're going to get
Yeah.
60 days to just do it and use it and play around with it and learn it without putting a credit card in.
What's
And
great about that offer is I know historically people say it's 30 days to create a habit. It's actually 64 days, I think, is the real number.
oh,
So by offering that additional 30 days, you might increase your turnover rate because people will be creating a new habit of using Sphere. So
that is great.
actually,
I would love that. Another thing I want to mention here is that for agents that have been licensed less than 12 months, it's actually totally free for either one full year or until you reach 2 million in closed transactions.
Wow.
That's great feature.
And the reason we do that is because I really did I feel like this is the turnkey way of creating a successful foundational business that's not based on shiny objects that
Mhm.
everyone's trying to sell you all the time.
So say that one more time. If you're a newly licensed agent for 12
If you're
months,
licensed less than 12 months,
less than 12 months.
it is free until you either hit 2 million 2 million in volume or until a year goes by.
Right.
And the reason why we did that is because I really did feel like when I got licensed, it was like, go do it. Or here's like a million coaches that want to charge you a lot of money, or, like here's all this stuff. But like, it was very much like, you're on your own, and that this is the turnkey way that most successful agents are running their business. So I'm doing that for new agents because I also think that if I had had this system when I was new, and especially when you're new, you're like freaking out about all the fees. And I mean,
Mhm.
it's expensive to be an agent.
Right.
You're still, I mean, I had the feeling of like, am I even going to be good at this? Right.
Yeah.
So if I had something that was this powerful and it didn't cost me anything, and I actually did what it said, that's the important part.
Uh-huh.
I think I would have been successful way faster than it took me to finally get up in production. And so I think like we're going to get more users that way. I think it's going to help a lot of new agents actually make it. Because what's the percentage of new agents that don't make it past their first year? Like 80% or something?
I believe so. It's really high. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to help with that situation for new people who are willing to hustle.
Yeah. Well, Ross, we really appreciate it. That sounds awesome. You're definitely going to see Michelle and I in there trying it out with our trial and coupon code.
Yeah, why not?
Awesome.
And
Excited?
where I know you're on Instagram as well. Where can people follow you?
So people can find me at Own It Northwest is my Instagram.
Awesome.
And usesphere.com. Those are the two places.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Ross.
And people have questions about how I deal with my team structure, please reach out about Sphere, about Place, about whatever. I love meeting agents from all over the country. Always have referrals, and love to make connections like that. So
We
please
love
reach
it.
out.
Perfect.
Thank you, Ross. We appreciate it.
you joining
Thank you
us.
both.
And I do want to mention on our next podcast, we're going to have an agent that is a veteran and also has a TV show. So just a little teaser on that.
Cool.
I know. Very cool. So anyhow,
Nice.
thanks again, Ross.
I hope the big takeaway from this whole episode has been that all reality TV is absolutely real. That's what I hope.
I'm sure it is.
Nothing
Okay,
to
good.
do with Sphere or all
No,
the
no,
great
no.
things we just
No.
talked about.
No, House Hunters absolutely legit.
Totally
Yeah.
real.
Okay. Well, on that note, yeah. Hope
All
everybody
right.
learned that lesson today. All right.
Thank
Take
you,
care.
Ross.
Thanks, Ross.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.